If you have been accused of domestic violence, you may be thinking, okay, well, I'm innocent. But are you actually legally? In this video, I'm going to be going through 5 common actions that can constitute domestic violence technically, legally, in the state of California that will very likely surprise you. My name is Veronica. I'm a domestic violence defense attorney here in California, and I help people put their cases behind them so that they can enjoy their lives and their freedom. I'm also the creator of a course called Defeat the DVRO, in which I teach you from start to finish everything you need to know to represent yourself and win your restraining order hearing. So if that's something you're interested in, you can find a link to your free first class in the course in the description box down below. So let's talk about 5 common situations that people find themselves in where they think this isn't domestic violence, but the state of California may beg to differ. And number 5 is going to be probably the most shocking, especially in light of number 1. If you've been accused of domestic violence, it's very likely that one of these is going to apply to you. So let's jump right in. Number 1, trying to take someone's phone from them. Really, this applies to any object, but the situation I see this in the most commonly is where you are trying to take someone's phone. Maybe they're trying to make a video of you. Maybe you think that they are cheating on you and you want to see what's on their phone. So trying to take someone's phone or any object from them is actually considered battery. Battery is harmful or offensive conduct. If you try to yank something away from someone, by pulling it, you are causing this, sort of friction that you see here between their hand and the phone. And this actually can become much more serious if the other person says that they were trying to call 911, because now you are potentially dissuading a witness. You are trying to prevent someone from calling for help. And so now, even if there was no physical injury to them, if that is the allegation, that typically does scare prosecutors. It's a potentially more serious charge, and it scares judges. And so the chances of charges being filed against you in a criminal case instead of being dropped before court can increase. It doesn't mean that it's impossible to get them dropped, but it does definitely make it more serious. And in the context of a restraining order, it does make it more likely that the judge will want to grant a restraining order. Number 2, threatening to physically hurt someone. So if you make a threat of violence, that is actually, in the state of California, it's a type of domestic violence, also called criminal threats, where that can also be charged potentially as a felony. You may think, well, it was just words. Don't I have a First Amendment right? You don't have a First Amendment right to threaten to hurt someone. So again, it doesn't mean that it's an impossible case, but it is something to know, and this is something you wouldn't want to admit to a police officer, detective, judge, jury. Number 3, trying to stop someone from physically attacking you, but using too much force. Okay, so self-defense is a defense in a restraining order case and in a criminal case, and it's very common, but the thing is, especially if you are a man who's defending yourself against a woman attacking you, many times when they are saying that you, even though you weren't the aggressor, are guilty of domestic violence, what they're saying is that you used too much force in defending yourself. So it's not enough to just say, well, I was defending myself, they started it. You need to be able to show that you used no more force than reasonably necessary to stop them from attacking you. Number 4, throwing an object towards someone that doesn't hit them, and sometimes would be unlikely to hurt them even if it had hit them. Okay, so remember how I said taking someone's phone from them is technically battery because you're causing their hand to kind of move on their phone. So that's harmful, or in that case, maybe offensive contact. Well, throwing an object towards someone is technically assault in the state of California. Assault is putting somebody in reasonable apprehension that you are basically about to commit battery. So if I were to throw my phone towards someone, or even act like I was about to throw my phone towards someone, then that would be considered assault. Number 5. Now this one is funny, I think, in light of number 1, but I have seen people who were arrested for trying to take someone's phone from them. And I've also seen people who were arrested because they were trying to stop someone from taking their phone from them. So if someone's trying to pull their phone away from me and I push them away, that could potentially be considered domestic violence. Now, how much force do I use? What happens to them? How much of the real story can I get across to the judge? That is going to be really important here. What you wouldn't want to make the mistake of doing is thinking, well, yeah, but they were trying to take my phone. They were committing domestic violence. And so I can just freely admit that, and whatever happened to them after that, that's too bad. That's a form of self-defense. For any of these, it is going to be a very fact-specific situation as to exactly what occurred between both of you. And I'm listing these 5 things not to scare you or to make anybody feel hopeless, but because you never want to overestimate your case or underestimate your opponent's case when you are fighting a domestic violence allegation. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you do have a domestic violence case in California, feel free to give me a call. You can find my number down below. And if you have a restraining order case, you're planning to represent yourself, you can represent yourself and win, but you have to have the right tools, which are exactly what I give you in the course. You can get your free class via the link down below. And if you did find this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.